Chapter 1. Neon Beginnings. Stacey had always been cautious. Structured job, predictable days, and a life wrapped neatly in routines. But tonight was different. Standing under the neon glow of Las Vegas Boulevard, she felt an unfamiliar thrill rushing through her veins. She wasn't here for a business conference, a wedding, or a bachelorette party. No, this trip was for herself, to feel alive. At the entrance to the Bellagio, someone brushed her shoulder, tall, confident, with a smile that could melt the desert heat. "Sorry," the stranger said, voice smooth like velvet. "Didn't mean to bump into you." She looked up. His name tag from a nearby corporate mixer read Kevin. His dark blue suit complemented the sparkle in his eyes. "Or maybe," he added, "fate just gave me an excuse to say hello." Chapter 2. First Bet. A few hours later, Stacey found herself seated next to Kevin at the roulette table. They laughed over failed bets, teasing each other when luck didn't go their way. "You seem like someone who doesn't take risks," Kevin said, leaning closer, voice dropping. Stacey smirked. "You'd be surprised what I might risk tonight." His fingers grazed hers as they both placed chips on black. A tingle shot through her, a warning, or perhaps an invitation. When the ball landed black, he grinned. "Maybe you're my lucky charm." Chapter 3. Dancing with Temptation. The casino melted into the background as Kevin pulled Stacey toward a rooftop lounge. Under a blanket of stars and city lights, the DJ spun deep beats. Kevin pressed his hand to the small of her back. They danced close, too close. Her body responded before her mind could catch up, hips swaying against his, her breath tangling with his. "You smell like temptation," he whispered against her ear. "And you," she whispered back, fingers tracing his jawline, "feel like danger." Chapter 4. A Gamble Worth Taking. In his suite on the 45th floor, the atmosphere shifted from playful to electric. Kevin cupped her face, searching her eyes. "Tell me to stop, or tell me to stay." "Stay," she breathed. The kiss was fire, hungry, desperate, and breathtaking. Clothes fell, piece by piece, trailing from the doorway to the bed. Skin against skin, every touch felt magnified. His hands explored her curves as if memorizing them. Her fingers threaded through his hair as his lips traced fire along her collarbone. When he finally entered her, it wasn't just physical, it was surrender. Their bodies moved together in rhythm, moans mingling with the distant pulse of Vegas nightlife. Chapter 5. Morning After or Beginning. Stacey woke with sunlight painting golden lines across Kevin's skin. He was already watching her, fingers lazily tracing circles on her bare shoulder. "Was this just Vegas?" she asked softly. He pulled her closer, brushing a kiss over her forehead. "Does it feel like just Vegas?" Her smile answered for her. Chapter 6. Beyond the Strip. They spent the day not as strangers, but as something more. Walking the arts district, sipping coffee, talking about life, dreams, regrets. Kevin confessed how his life had been all work, no play, until her. Stacey admitted how she'd forgotten how to let go, until him. By nightfall, they stood under the high roller, the city spinning behind them. "Stay another day," he said. "With me." Chapter 7. Second night, no regrets. This time, when they touched, it wasn't rushed, it was discovery. Kevin undressed her like unwrapping something precious. His lips traveled slowly, memorizing every inch of her. Stacey arched into him, gasping when his hands slid along her thighs, parting her gently. They made love as if time stood still, slow, deep, and achingly intimate. Chapter 8. The Risk of Falling. Over dinner, Kevin reached for her hand. "Stacey, this wasn't supposed to happen. I didn't expect you." "Me either," she admitted, voice shaking. "This feels real." Come home with me after this weekend. To New York. Her heart thudded. Was this crazy? Or the best risk of her life? Chapter 9. Goodbye Vegas. Hello forever. On the flight together days later, Stacey stared out the window, fingers laced with Kevin's. What happens in Vegas, he murmured against her temple. Stays in our hearts, she finished. Both smiled. They knew this wasn't a gamble anymore. It was a promise. Chapter 10. A suite full of secrets. Back in the luxurious penthouse overlooking the strip, the air buzzed with more than just the neon lights below. Kevin walked toward Stacey, hands slowly loosening his tie, his gaze dark with intent. There's something about you, something that makes me forget the world. She backed against the floor-to-ceiling window, the city sprawling behind her. Then forget it, she whispered. Tonight, it's just us. His lips capture hers with hungry precision. Fingers slid under her dress, tracing the edge of her silk panties, teasing, exploring. Her breath hitched, hands pulling him closer as the glass chilled her back while his touch ignited every nerve. Chapter 11. Boundaries and crossing them. The next morning wasn't about goodbye. It was about more. Over breakfast in bed, Kevin leaned back against the headboard. You ever wonder how far you'd go for something, or someone you just met but feels like you've known forever? Stacey chuckled. I used to think I had boundaries. Kevin's fingers trailed lazily along her bare thigh. And now, her lips brushed his ear. I'm wondering how far you'd go to find out what happens next. He grinned. Wanna test that theory? Chapter 12. Heat beyond the desert. The day spiraled into sensual chaos. In the infinity pool of the resort's rooftop, Kevin pulled her close underwater, hands roaming boldly beneath the surface. Laughter turned into gasps as his lips grazed her neck, wet skin slipping against wet skin. Later, in the elevator, alone, he pressed her against the mirror, hands sliding under her skirt as numbers ticked higher, neither caring who might see when the doors opened. By the time they stumbled back into the suite, the clothes barely survived the trip. Chapter 13. Confessions in the dark. Lying tangled together, Stacey traced lazy circles on Kevin's chest. Tell me something no one knows, she murmured. Kevin sighed, serious now. I almost walked away from my job last month. It feels empty sometimes. Like all this success, but no one to share it with. Her fingers stilled. I get it. I've lived my whole life waiting for something, someone. His thumb brushed her lips. Maybe we just found it. Chapter 14. The Last Gamble. On their last night in Vegas, Kevin surprised Stacey with a private dinner on a rooftop helipad. Candles flickered, the strip sparkled beneath them, and a soft breeze carried promises of what if. As dessert arrived, Kevin slid a small velvet box across the table. Her heart stuttered. Not that, he smiled, opening it to reveal a tiny gold key on a chain. It's the key to my apartment. If you want it. Tears pricked her eyes. This weekend was supposed to be a fling. Maybe it's the start of everything, he whispered. Chapter 15. A risk worth taking. The next morning, sunlight filtered through the sheer curtains. Stacey sat at the edge of the bed, twirling the tiny gold key between her fingers. Kevin wrapped his arms around her from behind, resting his chin on her shoulder. I meant it, you know, he whispered. The key, it's not just to my apartment. It's to whatever this is between us. Her heart raced. It's crazy, she murmured, but it feels right. He kissed her bare shoulder. Sometimes the best things come from taking the biggest risks. Chapter 16. Midnight Temptations. That evening, they wandered the neon-lit streets of Las Vegas, ending up at a rooftop lounge with velvet booths and soft jazz. In the corner, Kevin slid close, his hand resting high on Stacey's thigh under her dress. You drive me insane, He murmured against her ear, lips grazing her skin. Her breath trembled. "We're still in public," she whispered, but didn't stop his hand from creeping higher. "Does that bother you?" His fingers teased the edge of lace. "Not even a little," she grinned wickedly. Chapter 17. The High Roller Suite. Back in the suite, there was no waiting. Clothes were scattered in seconds. Kevin pressed her against the cool marble wall, lips devouring her as hands explored every curve. Her moans echoed through the room, drowned by the sound of his name on her lips. On the silk sheets, on the balcony under the stars, even against the floor-to-ceiling windows, their bodies tangled in every corner, every surface, as if trying to memorize the feeling of skin on skin. It wasn't just passion, it was surrender. Chapter 18. When morning comes. Morning felt different. They sat together at the edge of the bed, overlooking the strip fading under the dawn light. Neither wanted it to end. Kevin turned to her. "What if this isn't just Vegas? What if it's real?" Stacey bit her lip, searching his eyes. "I don't want it to end either." He pulled her closer. "Then don't let it." Chapter 19. Leaving Vegas. Together. At the airport, Kevin squeezed Stacey's hand tightly. "Come with me. Back to New York. For real." She stared at him, heart pounding. "Are you serious?" "Dead serious." His thumb stroked her knuckles. "No games.
No pretending."
"I don't care how crazy it sounds. I want you with me." A slow smile spread across her lips. "Then let's gamble on us one last time." As the plane lifted off, their fingers laced together, both knowing this was just the beginning.